Welcome to your English 2322 British Literature online course for the spring of 2013. This course orientation will introduce you to the course so that you can get started working. First, I want to introduce you to myself. My name is Dr. Joyce Kerr Tarpley, and as you can see on on this slide, I have 4 degrees, all of which are in English. I've been teaching at this college for more than 20 years, and I teach world literature, American literature, British literature, humanities, and composition. Your class website, which is right now still under construction from the summer course, can be found at litliberallearning.com, and this is pretty much what it looks like. It's a little different because it's being changed for this course, but this is about what you'll see when you log on. You need to have access to ECampus, however, because that is how I will email you, and it is also how I will send out announcements. So please log on to ECampus and make sure that your email and your password are current. You're automatically enrolled on our ECampus web page when you register for this course. And so you can access eCampus from the Mountain View College webpage, or you can Google eCampus dccc.edu, and you need to make sure your eCampus email is current, the one that you're using right now, an email that you will check regularly. It is very important in an online course that we stay in communication. Now you're going to need to read your syllabus, which will be emailed to each one of you. It will also be posted on eCampus, and it'll be posted on your website as soon as it's available. But at the end of that syllabus, you'll see a student agreement form. You're going to need to sign that and turn it in to me. You can drop it by my office, W185B. You can email it to me if you know how to scan it and email it to me as an attachment, or you can fax it to the number that is on your syllabus. Now your text and materials these are all required: the Norton Anthology of English Literature, My Literature Lab software, and Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen. Now this is the 8th edition, but if you have the 9th edition, you can use that as well. The page numbers will be a little different, but you can find everything in the table of contents or the index. You also will need My Literature Lab, and that is going to cost you approximately $33. You can go to this link, or there's another link that I've listed on your syllabus as well that's more current, but you're going to, however you access it, you're going to need to buy access. Make sure that you use the course ID for our course, which is Tarpley 95053. And this slide gives instructions for step-by-step instructions for purchasing, and you can see that the link is a little bit different. You need to use this link, Pearson, MyLab, and Mastering.com, and follow the directions. If you look at number 5, it says use the access code that came with your textbook. You did not buy a textbook from Pearson, so you'll not have an access code with your textbook. Your access code is from the purchase of My Literature Lab, which you'll be buying with a credit card or PayPal. The 7 days of temporary access will not really help you because our semester is 16 weeks. So follow the directions, and ultimately you will click on British Literature Spring 2013 to start working. The other required text is Pride and Prejudice. This is a very inexpensive version that is in our library, but Jane Austen's, all of her novels are not under copyright, so you can access any of the novels online. On your study guide for Jane Austen, I give you a very reliable link in order to access that novel. Now, InGrade is a website that will allow me to post your grades, and it's also very important because this is where you're going to be uploading your journals when they're due. You will not email your journals to me. You will upload them to this site. So before you begin the course, you'll need to register at InGrade. I will send you an individual access code via email at the beginning of the semester. Once you get that access code, you're going to need to go to http://www.ingrade.com/students and follow the directions. This is the place, this is what it looks like, and it's very simple as long as you have the access code, which I will email you at the beginning of the semester. Now, the directions for InGrade are here. I know I'm repeating, but it's necessary to repeat in an online course because you're not in front of me and you cannot ask questions. So once again, you will Google InGrade, you will choose student and parent sign up, you will cut and paste the access code or type it in, you will choose next, and you will follow the instructions to create your InGrade account. And your grades will be posted on InGrade for each journal, for your test, and you can check them anytime. This is a very important class website, Kia, which I pay for so that you can access it to take quizzes, which are not required but are strongly recommended on each text, and also to take your online test. This is where the objective section of your online test will be posted. So to take them, you're going to need to access it, and to access it, you will need a username and password, which once again, I will email to you. You're going to need to keep up with all your usernames and passwords, but of course, this one I can email you if you lose it. The other one for InGrade, I will not know, so you will have to keep up with that when you want to write it down somewhere. When you log in to your web page, you're going to see a page that looks like this. It's going to say Dr. Tarpley, and then it's going to have a class web page. You're going to click on that link to get to your class web page. And then you'll see an announcement that looks like this. Welcome British Literature Online students to your Kia class web page. You're going to take self-check quizzes over your course readings or take objectives tests. And you can get extra credit if you take the quizzes and have at least an average or higher for each unit. They're optional, so you lose absolutely nothing if your average is below 80, and you'll have 5 attempts. It's always a good idea to leave at least 1 or 2 attempts in order to help you study for the test. These are the quizzes for the first unit. Again, they are optional, and they can be extra credit if you take them and have an 80 average for them. So you'll not be required to take them, but I strongly recommend you at least attempt them. The basic course requirements are going to be discussed now. And there are ungraded course requirements and there are graded. I'm talking about the ungraded ones right now. To begin the course, you're going to click on the course schedule button on your website. If the website's not ready by the time the course begins, I'll email you the course schedule. It'll also be posted on ECampus. Now, the course schedule is a suggested pacing for this course. It's not required. You can go faster or you can go slower, but the deadlines are not optional. The pacing is recommended, but the deadlines are not recommended. They are required. And failure to meet the deadlines will result in no credit for the assignments. There are no makeups or extensions, so you want to stay on top of things. Now, to help you, I will email you reminders via ECampus, but if you do not check your ECampus email, you're not going to know. I will also post announcements, again, on ECampus, and those announcements will be emailed to you, so you can see it is imperative that you check your email. All the deadlines are on the calendar, but I also will send you reminders before something's due. Another basic course requirement that is ungraded is Norton Topics Online. There's a button for Norton Topics Online on your course web page. So you're going to log into it, and each of your study guides will have instructions about what you need to do. Another basic course requirement that is ungraded is your PowerPoint lectures. Those lectures are under lectures on your course webpage, but you'll also be required to watch some Longman lectures, which are posted on my Literature Lab. And the directions to access those lectures are on your calendar. So you need to read the calendar very carefully. I've given you step-by-step instructions about how to access the Longman lectures on my Literature Lab. Another basic course requirement that is ungraded is your study guides. You will complete a study guide for each course text. They contain directions for required learning activities, optional activities, vocabulary, study questions, and all of these are to help you gauge your understanding of what you've read and to focus your attention on key aspects of the text you're reading. Here's an example of the Beowulf study guide for your course. You see it has the learning activities, it has online activities, and it has a study guide that's going to give you vocabulary terms and study questions. Now, the basic course requirements that are graded begin with the journals. The journals are 30% of your course grade, and they are required to pass the course. They are not optional. And their test, you have 3 tests. The first test is all objective, and it's posted on the KIA website. The second test is objective and take-home. An objective section is posted on the KIA website, and the take-home will be emailed to you to complete, save, and you won't email it back to me. That's an error. You will upload it to InGrade, and that's also on your calendar. And test 3, same thing. You will have an objective section posted on the KIA website, and you'll have a take-home email to you that you will complete, save, and upload onto InGrade by the deadline. Now, the journals guidelines are very, very specific, and journals, you have to get a 70 in order to pass. So the grades are 70 and above. If it's below 70, it's going to be kicked back to you with no credit. So you have to reach at least a 70 on your journal in order for it to be passing. And you need a 70 average. I'm assigning you 12 journals, but only 10 will count toward your average. So you'll have 2 that you can drop. So if you don't do badly on one or miss one, as long as you don't do that for more than 2, you'll be fine. The journals will be uploaded to InGrade, and there won't be makeups or extensions. The deadline for every single journal is on your calendar. To earn a passing grade on a journal, it has to meet all the criteria for form, and each journal has to follow the directions exactly. It has to answer all the questions, and most importantly, it has to be carefully edited. You can use brief quotations from the text if required, and you will use a method called the SEEI method that I will explain to you. It's a critical thinking method. That's on 2 of your journals, and those journals will be worth more than the others. But I'll get into more detail about that later. The main thing that you need to know is that you need to follow instructions very carefully for your journals. Now, I'm going to assign a diagnostic journal so that you can gauge my standards. And the level that you'll have to rise to in order to pass. And that journal will allow you to understand the requirements without being penalized if you earn a low grade. But if you like your grade, you can keep that journal back as a replacement for a low journal grade during this semester with some restrictions. It cannot replace either of your SEEI journals. Journals that do not meet the criteria will receive no credit. So you need to complete those journals carefully. Email if you have any questions before you turn in a journal. And if you know that you have problems with, let's say, comma splices, run-on sentence, sentence errors, subject-verb agreement, those will not be acceptable in your journals. This is a sophomore level class. It's assumed that you've already taken English 1301 and 1302 and that you know how to write a complete sentence. So if you need to review any of this, you can do so. You can review MLA format, you can review editing for grammar at the Writing Center at Mountain View. But those of you who are at a distance, I will recommend to not only you but other students that you go to my literature lab. There's a section on grammar that will help you review skills that you need. So I will refer you to that. You don't have to go anywhere. You can just go up online and review. Each journal grade will be posted on InGrade as soon as I grade it. I may put bubble comments about the journal also. I may put those comments on the actual journal, or I may put them with your grade. You need to know that if you don't have a traditional copy of Microsoft Word, if you have a bootleg copy, for example, you will not be able to see those comments. So if I make comments on your essay, on your journal, and you don't have Word, you're not going to be able to see them. Now remember that journals are required to pass the class at the 30% of your entire grade, and that you have to have a journal average of 70 or higher in order to pass. 70 is the lowest grade I give. If it's lower than that, it's a failing journal and it gets kicked back to you. Okay, I want to talk a little bit about internet connections. You need to know that in any home, the internet connection can be interrupted. It happens in my house. If you're taking a test and the internet connection is interrupted, you're not going to get another attempt. So my suggestion is, when you're taking a test, go take it at a place where the internet is very reliable, because you don't want to lose access to the test. You're only going to get 2 attempts, and if you blow both of those, your grade is what it is. You won't get another attempt. Deadlines to take each test will be posted on your Kia webpage, as well as time limits if applicable. You must complete the test by the deadline and within the prescribed time frame. No makeups or extensions will be given for test. So you're going to need to send an email to verify your completion of this course orientation. When you have completed this orientation, email me at jtarpley@dcccd.edu. In the subject line, please write the following: English 2322 Orientation Completed. And I would appreciate it if you would also put your first and last name, because I may not be able to tell your first and last name from your email address. It's very important that you email me before the certification date, which is February 4th. We are required to certify your attendance by that time. And when we do, if you're not certified, it could affect your financial aid. In your email, if you have questions from the syllabus or from anything else from the course orientation, please let me know and I will respond as soon as possible. You may also call my office at 214-860-8793, and you can leave a message if I'm not there. I return emails and I return phone calls very promptly, especially on an online course. So I'm a hands-on instructor. You'll find that I will be very responsive to you, but you need to A, check your email regularly, and B, email with me with questions early, not late. I'm available to assist you during my office hours, which are posted on the syllabus. You may drop by during my office hours, my open office hours, anytime, no appointment necessary. And those open office hours are from 7 to 8 a.m. Monday through Friday. But I have other office hours when you may schedule an appointment. Those are closed, but they're open to you as long as you make an appointment. Please come for help if you need it. Now, as soon as you have emailed your verification that you've completed the orientation, you're going to be ready to begin the course. Go to your course webpage, litliberallearning.com, read your course schedule, and start. Good luck, and I'll be in touch with you on a regular basis by email. And you can email me with questions at jtarpley@dcccd.edu. I will monitor my email for your questions. I will respond quickly, and you need to remember there is no such thing as a stupid question. When you ask questions, you show me that you're engaged with the course. But the key is ask questions early. Don't wait, and often as you have them.